They call the Islamic punishments barbaric. They see a hand cut for theft or someone being lashed for a crime and they lose their minds. Western politicians, Western journalists, and Western human rights organizations, they all line up to condemn the Sharia as cruel, primitive, and barbaric. But I want to ask you something. While they are busy being horrified by Islamic law, what exactly is going on inside their own prisons? Because the system they are defending sentences human beings to years of eating grapes, gang violence, psychological destruction and torture, and calls it justice. And today we are going to expose exactly how that works. So if you have ever felt being put on the defensive about Islamic punishments, stay with me, because by the end of this video, they will be the ones who will have the burden of proof. Here is what I am going to show you today. Firstly, what the Islamic punishments actually are, because most critics have never seriously studied them. Second, what the Western prison system does to human beings behind closed doors. And third, which system is actually just, actually proportionate, and actually humane when you look at the whole picture. I am not asking you to take this on faith. I am asking you to look at the evidence with me and think. And if you do that honestly, only one conclusion is possible. Let's get into it. Before we compare anything, we need to agree on what justice actually is supposed to do. Any serious system of justice has to achieve at least three things. 1. It has to punish the guilty in a way that's proportionate to what they actually did. 2. It has to deter others from committing the same crime. And 3. It has to give the victim some form of real justice. Not just process them through a bureaucracy and forget about them. These are the standards. Keep them in mind throughout this video. Because when you apply those standards to both systems, the results are not even close. Let's start with Islamic punishments, because if you have only heard about them from Western media, you have a completely distorted picture. The hudud are fixed punishments prescribed by Allah for specific serious crimes. Theft, certain sexual crimes, and a few others. Qisas is the principle of proportional justice, the idea that the punishment should fit the crime, and that the victim or their family has a direct say in what happens. Now here is what the critics never tell you. The conditions required to actually apply hudud are extraordinarily strict. For the punishment of theft, the item stolen must reach a minimum threshold value. The person cannot have been stealing out of hunger or necessity, and the crime must be proven beyond reasonable doubt. Umar ibn al-Khattab radhiyallahu anhu, the second caliph of Islam, suspended the punishment of theft entirely during a year of famine, because Islamic law understands that context and circumstances matter. That's not barbarism. That is a more sophisticated understanding of justice than most Western systems have today. Here is the core argument I really want you to think about. Islamic punishments are proportionate. They match the crimes. A thief who steals loses the hand that he used to steal. A murderer faces the possibility of execution, or the victim's family can accept financial compensation and forgive. The punishment fits the specific crime committed by the specific person. Now look at the Western system. What does it do? It puts everyone in a cage. Drug dealer, cage. Fraudster, cage. Violent criminal, cage. White collar criminal who robbed thousands of people out of their life savings, also a cage. Probably a nicer one and for lesser time. The punishment is always the same blunt instrument regardless of what was done. There is nothing proportionate about this, and proportionality is not just an Islamic concept. Even Western legal philosophers acknowledge it as a cornerstone of justice. They just don't apply what they preach. Now let's talk about what the Western prison system is actually built for. Because it's not justice. The United States has the highest incarceration rate in the entire world. Over 2 million people behind bars at any given time. And it's not an accident, it's the system. In the United States, private prisons are a multi-billion-dollar industry. Companies make money when the cells are full. Politicians get donations from those companies. And so the incentive is not to rehabilitate criminals. The incentive is to keep them coming back. The recidivism rate, meaning the rate at which criminals re-offend after release, sits at around 70% within 5 years in the United States. 70%. By their own stated goal of rehabilitation, they are failing catastrophically. But they are succeeding at something else. Keeping a permanent underclass of mostly poor minority people cycling through the system that profits from their incarceration. That is what they are defending when they attack Islam. And what actually happens inside these prison systems? This is where the word humane completely falls apart. Sexual violence inside American prisons is so widespread that it has become a cultural reference point. It is a joke. The Bureau of Justice Statistics reports hundreds of thousands of incidents of sexual violence behind bars every single year. Solitary confinement, placing a human being in a cell for 22 to 24 hours a day, is standard practice across Western prisons. United Nations has categorized prolonged solitary confinement as a form of torture. Prison gangs run entire facilities. Violence is endemic. Psychological destruction is the norm. not the exception. And all of this happens behind walls, away from cameras. Now tell me, with a straight face, that a swift, proportionate punishment under Islamic law causes more suffering than this. I will wait. Here is something nobody talks about. What happens to the victim in both systems? In the Western system, the moment a crime is reported, it belongs to the state. The victim becomes a witness. They have almost no say in what happens next. The criminal is processed and sentenced, and the victim is left to handle their trauma all on their own. In Islamic Qisas, the victim or their family is placed at the center of the process. They can demand proportional justice, they can accept financial compensation, or they can forgive entirely. And Allah promises an immense reward for those who forgive. The victim has agency and dignity and is not an afterthought. So which system actually cares about the human being who was harmed? And which system is built around the state, its bureaucracy and its financial interests? So why does the West attack Islamic punishment so aggressively when its own system is garbage? Because this was never about human rights. If it was, they would fix their own prisons before opening their mouths about Islam. The real reason is that Islam is a complete self-sufficient moral and legal system that does not need Western validation. It answers to Allah, not to the Western governments and not to the United Nations. And that is deeply threatening to a worldview that insists that Western liberalism is the final word on human civilization. The Islamic punishments are swift, proportionate, applied under strict conditions, and historically effective as deterrents. Western prisons are slow, blunt, built on financial incentives and failing by every serious measure. The question is not if Islamic law is barbaric. The question is why we ever believed the people making that accusation in the first place. I want to leave you with a thought. The Quran tells us that whoever does not judge by what Allah has revealed is among the wrongdoers. Not the outdated ones, not the medieval ones, but the wrongdoers. That is a serious statement. And when you look at what human beings have built when they removed divine guidance from their legal system, when you look at the 2 million people in cages, when you look at the 70% re-offending rate, at the brutality happening in Western prisons right now, maybe it's worth asking whether the one who created human beings has a better understanding of justice than those who are profiting from the current system. I'm not asking you to stop thinking. I'm asking you to think more critically. Question what you have been told is humane and what is barbaric. And ask yourself, who benefits from you believing those things? If this video made you think, share it. If you are someone who has questions or doubts about Islam and how to defend it, I have a book specifically on that topic. The link and the details are in the description. I'll see you in the next one.